Eyame enijie pise mi Yesu di. Yesu na wafura mi se memra mesum no. Yesu na wafura mi se memra meyene di. Yesu na wafura mi se memra mesum no. Yesu na wafura mi se memra meyene di. Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio uze memra meyene di. Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio uze memra meyene di. Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu safremio. Ajimio zemmemra meyene Eyami eniji se miyo Kristo ni. Eyami eniji epise miye Yesu di. Eyami eniji se miyo Kristo ni. Eyami eniji epise miye Yesu di. Yodo ajimi yanum watu di safremio. Odiodo ajimi zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Eyame eniji se miyo Kristo ni. Eyame eniji epise miye Yesu di. Eyame eniji se miyo Kristo ni. Eyame eniji epise miye Yesu di. Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Eyame eniji se miyo Kristo ni. Eyame eniji epise miye Yesu di. Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odiodo ajimio yanum watu ni safremio. Odiodo ajimio zemmemra meyene Odo beni maji kwano doyo mintu minti asio Odo Beni, Odo Beni, O Maji Panodoyo, Mintu Mintiasio, don't know crossing me po, don't know dressing sassy in a Maji Panodoyo, Mintu Mafoma Oban, Trono, Wankaso, Wambuo, Kosini Womo. Da ekayeti mafuoma obona sutrono wankaso wamuo kosini uomuo waina ubenya sa odo ibio se odinikira betuama otrinini au ubiere niho au ubiere niho au ubiere niho ajise yesu nkuwa au ubiere niho au ubiere niho au ubiere niho ajise yesu nkuwa maye no do ibiyo maye no do ibiyo maye no do ibiyo udon kune ya maye no do ibiyo maye no do ibiyo maye no do ibiyo udon kune papa maye no do ibiyo papa maye no do ibiyo odo ni abutre ni edi ayewe juma odo ni abutre ni edi ayewe juma.
Amen. Yes, you're saying. Yamin Shamu. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening to those of you here and those of us online too. Good evening. You're welcome to this evening's program. Yesterday, we learned about how to keep our hearts healthy. Yes. Today, we'll learn about the bitter truth about sugar. So, it will not take much of your time. We would call on our sister Cassandra Abna Adoma to give us a song just before Doctor comes online. Amen. Dana onyamintu minye. Dana ejanuntu minyo. Otumi nante aposo edena broswa ejanuntu minyo. Dana onyamintu minye. Dana ejanuntu minyo. Otumi nante aposo edena broswa ejanuntu minyo. Kai Job, Kai Paul, Kai Hanan Soshano, Nehuse, Odieno Yekitswebi, Kai Daniel Soshan so, Pawodieno to, Obe Husenya mi betumya yo. Oh, denkra, nesu sing sanyami, edene broswa, ejanun tuminyo. Oyo nyamya, trunya sasira, nyawakasa, adinyi na yekono. Denkra, nesu sing sanyami, edene broswa, Kai Jo, Kai Paul, Kai Daniel Soshano, Nehuse, Wodiano Yekitswebi, Kai Hana Soshan So, Wodiano To, Wobe Hunsenya Mi Betumya Yo. Oh, Denkra, Nesu sing Sanyami, Ejeng Nebro Swa, Ejanum Tuminyo. Oh, Denkra, Nesu sing Sanyami, Ejeng Nebro Swa. Amen. Amen. Cassandra, God bless you. Ampa edene ebro nyankopon so a ontumi nye. Otumi ade nyinaa ye. Cassandra, God bless you again. Just before we hear the voice of Dr. Yeboah, I'll call on Elder Boydo to come and pray as we start this evening's program.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for opportunity for this program. We commit Dr. Paul Yeboah to thy care. He has so many experience and wisdom, and he don't want to be at waste. He wants us to share together. Please, we pray that you gather your people all over the world to listen to him and put this into practice that will help us. Eradi yes, show you mean say. Ohom kronkron eboaboa edom ano ema womti wasem a ewie peye no yesre sa hom kronkron se emwa dom ano obi biara nso obeti eni onfanye adwuma se yare mpo ene wono so a esre urade sane yare mayen odiyefo kese udwuma pom a wasafo yi tabade ba kwa asafo nko na ewo ti etimi kirekire apomdin se ne onyankopon wohwehwe edom yi yebie epono no osoro ene ye mekasa osoro enfa doctor mu ne ye nkasa ye wie nkunimdimu a ampa ye dia ye asida entumani kabiama sama ye fie bisa we ni adom pi won yero ade pa Kristo Yesu di mu nti amen.
Elder Paul Yeboah, good evening from Ghana. Hello.
Evening.
Yes.
It's me, Fraser.
Pacho to me fias. Thank you.
I'm once the At the boy does memoajo and the was it. We have known each other for a long time. I think I owe you an apology. For yesterday in AC, and we had a water problem. So I asked the technicians to come home and check the internet and everything, and requested for the highest one for this week. They rebooted and gave me a different channel. So when I went to share the screen, there was nothing to share. It wasn't an easy incident for me, but thank God we were able to watch it freely. The leadership has asked me to briefly review the COVID. Just last week, we sent 2 of our church leaders to a meeting in another state. Both of them came home with the COVID. Nyankasa, I'm recovering from my second one. First one, it's me pa, maybe Fafri Ghana, a year. Lego on church elder, Paini, Esiama, Kwaku. Obey me to home me more mask. Was it an example when I was at it? Why, if you want, when out to Haka, walk on the Kamukofa mask, Branny. A year chair more metinary promo by me by a pa, a proper material bucket in Trinity. I almost died. Na nea muhunu na fidie so yi, Seventh-day Adventist doctors a wɔn maduru asukɔ wɔ yadeɛ mu no, ɛna de saa adeɛ baa nansa yɛkɔ seminar. Wɔn kyerɛ sɛ sɛ wofa iodine 1% and dilute it to 1%. Please listen, 1%. You can dip a Q-tip and clean your nose and then gargle with the iodine 1%, povident iodine. You do that to reduce the viral load, the infection, as a preventive measures. Then, if you test positive for this disease, you can bump up your vitamin D to 15,000 international units a day. Normally, you would take about 5. But when you test positive, you can increase it, the dosage. The same as vitamin C, you need them. There is zinc missing on this chart. But zinc is the only medicine on the earth that can stop cell replication. When the virus gets into your system, it tricks the body to say, oh, I'm your friend. Can I stay in here with you? They will enter the cell and convince the cell to make baby COVIDs. And then the cell will burst open and release millions of baby COVIDs to go and find their own cell and infect. Akakadro, and now say zinc is the only thing that will prevent cell replication. NAC, N-acetyl-cysteine, 600 milligrams a day, very, very, very effective. My Institute uses that to treat most of their patients, and they have good success. Then quercetin with bromelain, also 500 milligrams a day. Turmeric has also been found to be effective. Not again. Olive leaf extras and all that, and then reduce stress. This disease is highly infectious. When I came from Ghana and tested positive, my son walked into the room. I said, son, I have a lot of the testing equipment in my house. I've tested positive to the COVID, so go out of the room. Just that few 1 or 2 minutes in my room, he came down with it. The second time I got the infection, I went to My Institute to visit a friend. Knock at the door, he opened. I walked in, I said, where is your wife? He says, I have the COVID. She has moved away from the house. I said, well, let me go to my car and get my mask. I came home infected. It is highly infectious. So we need to take all the precautions, especially if we go to the public where somebody is sneezing. If you get in an elevator, somebody sneezes, 3 hours later, if you enter the same elevator, you see some of the viruses floating in the air. They can infect you through your eyes, through your mouth, and through your nose. These are actual pictures when somebody sneezes or coughs. How far? At least 12 feet away. So the 6 feet is not that enough. Something is better than nothing. This is a picture of 10 people in a room. One of them coughed. And within few minutes, it has spread to several people. These yellow areas are all infected. Leave it for most of the day, and everybody who enters the room will be infected. This disease is highly infectious, so protect yourself. especially sneezing or singing in the church. As much as you can, try and protect yourself and contain yourself by not infecting people. Sneezing is the easiest, the most common. Coughing and sinking about the same. And then talking will also, even a teacher instructing a student cannot easily infect the students. All these people on this side, the left side of the picture, are infected patients. If someone is infected and doesn't wear the mask, you have 70% chance. And even if you wear the mask, 70% chance of being infected. So when you're infected, no wear mask. Chances is also is reduced from 100% to only 5%. Mask no important. So we call public. And so no will be no about mask. Now so will be now about mask. 1.5% chance. Yes, you better take precautions. Obo mask na na motion. Tighten so the that woman. Now, even that, in a way of the best form of protection, N95 mask. Only 5% infection, they can get it through this one. The idea virus no Rome or 3 main places here, or ACE receptors in the lungs, or heart, and our kidney. A honor one many say sound power coha was a mayor wadanful. Mamma Sammy Bayafi tricky the body, no, I have on some idea to take you in. ACE receptors maybe were long soon. Oh, ball now mubu. I ever china nana. She ever jina na would the champagne ye. The same way as a virus no enter the body, no call ACE receptors in our lungs and damage the lung wall. Lung gonna send a message, cytokine, to the rest of the cells in our lungs and say, yapra, but don't swell, don't secrete any fluid. And yes, I to me it's a oxygen pump. It's a long way here, motion with the 2 microscope was here, and it's a grapesy, a viola and kitten. A horn oxygen exchange in take place. A viola and the adron, hey, oxygen get into this. Now, Fahasi, I call all parts of the cells. Since you're Bejinamua and mean crossing no papa. When you're accused respiratory distress syndrome, yeah, dear friend ARDS. But I hear worse. Over na viola in and she I say, I feel Nipano or Humane, no, I yet. Cynthia Banner said. So we are vitamin D deficient. Message no call from lungs no can't violence among and swell and I'm so you're vitamin D deficient and the message is transmitted the opposite direction. Go ahead and swell. And until a nipa the idea kumoni majority near vitamin D deficient. Not Ushe SARS statistics here, it's an old one there. One ma COVID in Chicago, 72% in black people, he said. In the winter times, or most of the time, 82% of all black people are deficient. Or Ghana there, we are tinable. Now cholesterol not converted, we are not to vitamin D. Over high, we are more. 82% of all black people are England, Sweden are all deficient in vitamin D. And because of that, so do not be vitamin D deficient, even in Ghana. This study was done in England, their public health. About 42% of the US population is vitamin D deficient. However, the rate rises to 82% in Black people and 70% in Hispanics. So even in Ghana, sometimes you can be vitamin D deficient. Sweden did the same study, 1% at the before, especially Somalia for. Only comorbidities, they don't have any of these. Fat people, diabetes, and yet most of the people who died are all Somalians in Sweden. The darker your skin, the less the ultraviolet rays that you can absorb from the sun. And the sun, of course, also the lighter ones get away with. Not only that, the Somalians in one faith in it. It is important to expose your head, your neck, and your chest to the sunlight 15 minutes every single day. You will absorb enough vitamin D or ultraviolet rays to convert to enough vitamin D. In Europe, countries are D deficient. Those countries are because of fish. They do not have that. The first thing is a drugstore, which kill vitamin D, now you lower, replace it. Vitamin D does a lot to improve the immune system. These are articles that have scientific articles that confirm they are making, and you can Google and research those things. So the idea of Baba tools is about modern some take precautions in term. If you say you have one some idea, Ubenya who are then Koran, so a bit more gensums are so mouth breathing one way ya ube felt at the end. Important is so punadro. Me the first one no buy and me tia horon kwa yakobo kiti fringe. He said the best thing that this virus do is to secrete a crazy glue, very thick glue to block your airway and to destroy your lungs, fibrosis. You have to do inhalation continually. One of the blocks in the see what say one of the block where inhalation, steam inhalation, 3 or 4 times a day. Now clear blocks, Senia munya residual damage. There are many people who don't die from the disease, but for the rest of their lives, they have residual damage. If you look at this airways, the trachea going to the lungs, left lungs and right lungs, they enter the lungs through these holes, left and right. That is what kills most people. The virus tries to block the exit. These are the ways. Gradually, they will secrete crazy glue to block your airways. You get to this point, you're dead. You can't breathe well. So the best thing to do is to do the steam inhalation. Hospital is not the answer. They don't have any medicine there to treat you. Over-the-counter drugs that we went through will help you recover from the disease more and isolate yourself. If you go to the hospital, the only thing they can do is to make you comfortable until your own immune system makes you well. You can stay home, isolate yourself, and get well as quickly as possible. Today, our topic is sugar, the bitter truth. This title was borrowed from Dr. Robert Lustig, Southern California. He's done more work on sugar, the dangers of sugar. And so I borrowed most of his material and the title for this evening's discussion. Ellen G. White, also under inspiration, in Oswego, Michigan, wrote in the book, Counsels on Diets and Food, page 328, paragraph 2. She said, from the light given me, sugar, when largely eaten, is more injurious than meat. Then goes on to say, I will prefer you to eat meat than to eat sugar. Some of us are vegetarians, but we consume so much sugar. And Ellen G. White says, I'd rather prefer you to eat meat than to eat sugar, because when you eat sugar more, it is far more dangerous. What do we mean when we say sugar? Let us divide sugars into two. The sugars that are present in fruits, like banana, watermelon, pineapple, and the rest. They are sugars too. But tonight, I'm going to concentrate on refined or processed sugars that have been taken out of the fruit medium and processed it. These are some of the ones you're looking at. Agave, honey, Coca-Cola, all kinds of products, syrups, molasses. These are all the sugars that I'm going to refer to most of today. The companies that make our foods or prepare our foods oftentimes will give a big reward to anybody who can come up with a better name for sugar so that they can put it on the label to hide the intention to make you know that there is no sugar in it. They will write things like sugar, glucose, maltose, honey, brown sugar, molasses, fructose, natural, real fruits, all kinds of names just to hide this danger from the public so that public will buy more sugar. The normal amount of sugar circulating in the blood at any given time is 4 grams, just 1 teaspoonful a day. As the blood is circulating through the vessels, perfect health depends on perfect circulation. Only 4 grams of sugar, 1 tablespoonful. We take in 52 teaspoonful of sugar a day. World Health Organization recommends not more than 10% of our calories should come from sugar source. So 3 teaspoons for children, 6 teaspoonful for women, and 9 for men. And this is far too much. And instead of consuming 9, we consume an average of 57 pounds a year. And this is how much sugar in a week. Mostly, we get our sugar, the excess sugar, from the soft drinks. This is 40 grams for 1 Coca-Cola can. Most of the soft drinks are responsible for the sugars that we're eating. The reason is that they have well-trained people who will do the bliss test. How much sugar should I put in this bread, this soup, this cornflakes that people would like to taste? These are specialized people who test these things so that it will taste good for more people to buy, not because it's healthy or not. Also, sugar has some addictive properties. Studies was done. If monkeys, they don't go caging, they want food, come the one mamunko did ha, they want sex, they can have it for free. They want sugar, especially fructose. And the chine one comes the moment you really see one, you would think it's a come the one they will rather go to the sugar because they are addicted to it. The addictive property is very high indeed. All the soft drinks, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola and Pepsi Cola, they use this method. Soft drinks, beer, mobile contains caffeine, which is a stimulant. And this stimulant is diuretic. Ebama wako junso bebre, wunum Coca-Cola or whatever. A sound contains 55 milligrams of salt. Coca-Cola. Now the inchine to Coca-Cola myelin and the one with the sugar are foreign to cover the salt. The reason is that because of the high salt content, wunum Coca-Cola, Obajunso says here, in order for you to feel thirsty. Now, they know exactly what they are doing. All the soft drinks, we say orange and 2%. Fructose. The new drinks are coming out more and more and more. Nina a sugar. Now, you have heard the dangers of this. Even fresh fruits are one of my squeezing, one add tobacco restaurant, they say fresh fruits, fructose in it, sugar situation. So far, 1 glass of orange juice, sucrose, a woman. There are 2 molecules, fructose, cocoa, and a glucose. Glucose, no dear. So become the noir. He looks so weak. When you be any pet, no pack up, no it gives you energy, goes into the mitochondria, just like a fuel, petrol, gives the car energy to go. Cells, we are body meaning 75 trillion cells in here glucose in order to function. But 1 glass of glass, contain 120 calories, 60 calories is glucose, 60 calories is fructose. Fructose is the worst poison that human beings can put into their mouth. Glucose goes into the cells, goes into your brain. Bacteria, one dozen chain, 73, 75 trillion cells. Yeah, one TMO to make us function well. One fructose, there, goes straight into the liver, 100%. Now, cause more damage. And cause metabolic syndrome. Yeah, they are doing diabetes. Fructose, heart attack, and without fructose, high blood pressure, obesity, they say, you monitor to send you being acquainted to ask questions. In the 1970s, near me and said it happened, President Nixon, USA, not over yet election. Now, no way feel it, no country and treasurer, agricultural minister, and say, ma aduane may problem my end. Fine way about my aduane cheap, na nipa votraman. About the same time in the 70s, Saga University in Japan, one more invented a DB nipa or invented high fructose corn syrup and what that's what he has. Japan's way of paying us back for the hydrogen bomb. So high fructose corn syrup cheaper. Now the Fred Yanibia and Manayede. So far orange juice, sucrose, 100 as 100% here. Glucose pie 98% sweetness. High fructose corn syrup near 120%, and fructose near 174% sweeter. And you would Fred Yanimua and Manipa Pessi better a year one day. Most importantly, it's addictive. And the next in can say, Mumpe aduane a ɛbɛyɛ cheaper na high fructose corn syrup invented in German was cheaper than sugar. Na scientists defra nnuane biara yɛdie. Unko grocery store. Na nnuane egu hɔ no bɛyɛ 98% and na fructose from. Fructose is the most deadly food. It's a poison. A call liver and call cell be damage liver no. And until na manipa one time na fruit tree. The one a metabolic syndrome a yet inflammation. Ya dear biada is caused by inflammation, heart attack, diabetes. No, fine. Say for the past 20 years. Nipa wa America a man I gain 335 calories more. They consume that. Teenagers 174 and a member 165. And unti a manipa ye wo wi asese say no ye didi more ni ye gain weight is more. Why I say aduane has been there all the time in the past 20 years ye didi more. Ye corn fructose more. A ye niema bebre sene ye behu no. So wobɛtena aduane ho sɛ wodi a wome kakra no na enzyme bi leptin aka kyerɛ wo brain sɛ sese a panyine no wame nti ma ne ne di bio. All of a sudden na brain na short of aduane no nyɛ wo da bio. Fructose ade a wɔyɛ a ne sɛ wɔ destroy saa hormone no pepa firi wo mogya nti wobɛdidi ma ne nipa nyinaa didi 25% more. You gain weight more. Now, with all the disease, no one frasi the frasa Coca-Cola. They are not interested in us. They want the children to be hooked onto the taste of it and the addictive power of the corn fructose, so that they will have more years to drink it, make them richer and richer. Certain is that those Coca-Cola that come to the third world, they double the dosage. In most of the other worlds, they can monitor and do tests to see that no, there's too much fructose in here. Take your Coca-Cola back. Ghana doesn't care either way, and most other countries. And we're addicting our children. We have be blown in mind. I didn't hear they say. And he'll be addicted for the rest of his life. At the end, be at a grocery store, Accra Mall, Kumasi Mall, Yenia, a fact, idea, instead say the Bacodium, Aqua Codija, pet fresh fruits, near payable Fumian. They are vegetarian cry, as I say, we are eating high level of corn and fructose. Cornflakes in breakfast cereals, you do hokra na corn ni behind. Or to me hydrate is adrian. Nam say ye chicken, a fra aduani biada. And a moshi. Syrup in Yania who do one milk a who do I enum corn fruit high fructose corn syrup. Even soup. Yeah. What can we? At the end of the day, on my preserve Sadian, a binim, Usha, we are won't miss any on my children. If it's a bribiadano, they are trying to hide it. So we are nipa ultimate reading labels now call him sugar content and no what right. And you are all factor how which may suggest the new name be a debasha one nipa nantiasia. One more reward you. And say, panel. 28 different types of bread. Yeah, go grocery store. No, 35 different ideas. Only 2 pet. And corn syrup or fructose minimum. Yeah, I'm fab a situation pea man because pan away there. One more nipa ya tested tasting. And who said, this level, and then nipa no be one friend a blessed point. One me their friend we are nina. Ibiada ya nipa be kwan nsa ya hye na no. Na fructose na free hin. Eye nyame na boy. Ehye diaba bia mu pineapple will be. Orange will be. Diaba ni nyina fructose wo mu. Me na body me kwasi Yeboah me gina ho kase. Cobra poison or what poison no be woman, but I want the right compartment. Yeah, me here for body process. Team come just if the hawk body and circle. Usha branch original where they blow high rise down with a dynamite. If you have dynamite in your car boot and you don't protect it well, the car will go up in flames. He can bring it down with the dynamite. From tremendous power. But so one will transport to dynamite, they cushion it. God and his wisdom has cushioned the poisons of fructose in the fiber. So long as the fruit is its fiber, it is safe to eat. When you take it to the factory and process it and take the fructose out, what they come on, there's no poison. Yeah, it's so dangerous. Said no. 99% of all the diseases, yeah, it has its origin. What we are seeing here is caused by inflammation. Fructose is the one that starts the inflammation. It is killing more women than men these days. Heart problem. And when you say, canana breast cancer, and they come more today. Heart problem is killing women 13 times more. The sad thing is that even the women, 50% will die without any warning that they are sick. 71% of all the women don't have the same symptoms that men have when their hearts are failing. And yet very dangerous for the women. And I'm sorry, fructose intake. Send me my statistics again. Memma a Ghana, a deep calories about 174% more. And young people about 200, women 335. What does corn fructose do to the body? Yeah, so it is so dangerous. Endothelial nitric oxide synthase enzyme be we more. And then the boa perfect circulation. And then the blood vessels relax. Endothelial nitric oxide synthase. Fructose, once you drink a can of Coca-Cola, go straight and block that enzyme. And therefore, the blood vessels will stay constricted and cause high blood pressure all the time. That is what is killing our young people these days. Says you are as old as your blood vessels. This is a typical blood vessel. The inside of the lining of the blood vessel, any intima, tunica intima, internal membrane. That is what helps the whole blood vessels to relax because it will go and destroy the smooth lining of all the blood vessels and prevent it to relax, to drop the blood pressure. When you say blood vessel, there were several layers. to make a media. Ahodoɔ ne nyinaa ɛna wɔ ha yi. This is a typical picture of a blood vessel and the epithelium, the inside one, the elastic layer, the muscle layer, and the external collagen fiber. One of the most important of all is the lining. When I discovered nitric oxide, won Nobel Prize. It's a boah to relax blood pressure. Now, blood pressure drowning, that is where it's going to work. And opinion my quay. So obenoma draw dear, and ye obekono could clean the blood vessels. No, while relaxing. Say, oh, fat blood pressure draw, and I want you to listen to me carefully. And you will continue to drink fructose, whether it's in orange juice, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, you're wasting your time. The blood pressure medication is supposed to relax the blood vessel to lower your blood pressure. The fructose is supposed to block the endothelial nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme that will cause it to relax, so that your blood pressure will stay high. Obenum blood pressure draw bukitima. Now for one Coca-Cola drinker, you have canceled everything. And more people are dying. But this part is even more important. You look at these blood vessels. The blood is flowing through this smoothly. Fructose has the ability to split the lining into two, so that any cholesterol or fat that you eat will go and bulge or hide underneath here. Arterial blockage. It is the fructose that will split all those layers into pieces. It can split this one from that one, and the cholesterol will go and hide in there to cause more problem. 90% of all the heart attack is not caused by the cholesterol, but the tear of the lining. As you see here, the blood is flowing through this smoothly. Fructose will separate this from that, and cholesterol will go and hide underneath to cause the bulge. As you're looking, will cause this bulge and close the way. This is the process, how it splits, and the foam cells, cholesterol and all the others, go and hide and cause the bulge. So instead of getting a smooth vessel to flow, for the blood flow, it will bulge here. If you sneeze, or the force of the blood flowing through this will tear the lining, which is only one cell thick, and it will start bleeding into your own arteries. 90% of all heart attacks are caused by this, because the endothelium has been weakened by fructose. It is highly complex, but cholesterol will only kill about 10% of people. 90% of all people who will die from heart attack is caused by drinking orange juice, has fructose. As soon as you put in your mouth Coca-Cola or any of these soft drinks, the fructose will go and block an enzyme called uric acid. The body cannot handle the uric acid. It will give you two diseases, gout, and the second disease is high blood pressure. That will kill you for sure. It's a very complex metabolic route. But God in his mercy has done something for us. This is a picture of a tongue. You can see tiny little holes in this girl's tongue. You magnify it, and you see that there are holes. There are some bacteria that live here. They have their houses, their kitchen, their living room, their TV room, all in these holes. God knows that we need the nitric oxide more than anything else. The leaves have the ability to draw these chemicals, natural enzymes from the sun. When you put these leaves in your tongue and you're chewing, those cells under your tongue hiding in those tiny little holes have the ability to convert the enzymes into nitrates. The nitrates in these green leaves or whatever color leaves is converted by those tiny little creatures into nitrites before you swallow it. I'm showing you these spinach. They are very rich in nitrates that they absorb from the sun. You chew it in your tongue. That's why you shouldn't be swallowing your food. Chew it so that those bacteria can convert the nitrates into nitrites. And then you swallow it, the food into your stomach. There is another set of bacteria that convert the nitrites into nitric oxide. It is the nitric oxide that will keep your blood vessels healthy. They will prevent stiffness in your veins. They will dilate your vessels and drop your blood pressure. They will prevent arterial thickening, prevent blockages, prevent smooth migration, and they will destroy the foam cells that the fructose have allowed to go and cause the blockage. Nitric oxide is perhaps one of the most needed things, and that's why God in his mercy has given to us. The human beings need to eat to live. Chew your food to convert the nitrates from the leaves into nitrites before you swallow it. And when it gets into the stomach, the bacteria will convert it into nitric oxide, and it will help you. Avoid these kind of foods. Oily food, fish food, fowl, chicken, meat, dairy products, sugar, caffeinated drugs, and so on. If there is time, we can get into that. Perfect health depends on perfect circulation. When you eat any of these food, this is what happens. They contain these two enzymes, carnitine and lecithin. Once they get into your stomach, the bacteria there convert the chicken and those fowl meat into TMAO, some special enzyme. And the only thing this enzyme will do is to destroy your arteries and cause blockage sooner or later, cause this tear, which will kill 90%. Today, you and I can agree and to say that from now on, I'm going to make my heart proof for heart attack. So long as you have a strong endothelium, you will never have heart attack. It will not tear. If you boil any vegetable for about 5 to 7 minutes, and you add balsamic vinegar to it, chew it in the morning for breakfast, chew it in the mid-breakfast, mid-afternoon, mid-evening, in the evening, they go and do one thing. Vegetables strengthen the lining and prevent it from tearing. 90% of all cardiac events originate from this tear. Make your heart attack proof by strengthening your endothelium. boiled any vegetable, consume whatever it is, add balsamic vinegar. These are articles confirming that olive, soybeans, palm oil intake have a similar detrimental effect over the endothelial function and not maybe leading to heart attack. Nitric oxide does a lot of things. Yamobonito, but metabolism is very, 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 very complex. Fructose will wipe out the uric acid and cause these things to happen. You need a healthy endothelial lining. So fructose na ɛwɔ juice mu so. The first thing they will do is to increase your bad cholesterol, low density lipoprotein. Those are the ones that will go and split the lining of your arteries and allow the foam cells to go and collect there. That is all that fructose will do. Sugar, when largely eaten, is worse than eating meat. And today, our women are dying. Akwara was ne maami wo no free school aba. Onim hwe. Nka mama na anu aduane ama me. Dem my dear yare a wo benya ho kakra tutu. Bankwara no maame no yare a se fie ho nyina. Ono ada ho wonim se wo bewu. Anase no ho fa no. Akwara no so cannot understand say ne maame yare. All because of refined sugars. Processed sugars. Normally say, it's no use taking blood pressure medication and drinking those fructose. Ubanum blood pressure drug bokiti makura is useless. They say you are canceling the effects. And this is the endothelia, one of the richest men in the world. And I'm sure by now she must have a high blood pressure. But the very thing he's doing now will cancel out. High fructose will inhibit satiety. What it means is that the enzyme that will tell you that you're full, don't eat anymore, it will wipe it out. So you don't know when to stop eating. It is the leptin resistance. So we didn't hamburger, Burger King, now juice they will eat twice as much. So they don't know when they have had enough. The leptin has been knocked out, and that is what fructose does. There are about 8,500 different chemicals that can damage the liver that you can trace to fructose in the orange. God put it there. In his wisdom, he knows why they are there to help us to function. But take it out of its fiber medium, and it becomes the worst chemical. That's why Ellen G. White, on the inspiration, told us that from the life-giving me, when sugar is largely eaten, is worse than meat. It causes obesity because the leptin is knocked off. You don't know when to stop eating. It causes diabetes, inflammation. It causes heart problem. 9-year-old, destroy his life completely. And one thing you want to avoid is to get your stomach this way, and you're deadly to heart problems. Sugar clogs the system. It hinders the working of the living machine. Cancer is rich in how the sugar clogs the system. Sugar and they split it layers and my cholesterol the block away. There are many things I can't for sugar. Ellen G. White on the inspiration, cancers and diets wrote cake, sweet pudding, pastries, jellies, jam, in which milk, egg, and sugar are the chief ingredients, taken together should be avoided. Afa America Diego Kokum, no affair citrate, no wafa kosua should be avoided under inspiration. Sad story in councils and diet. There was one case in Michigan County. The individual was a very noble man. He stood 6 feet. Ellen G. White wrote this, and was of fine appearance. I was called to visit him in his sickness. He was eating large quantities of sugar. I asked him why he did this. He said that he had become a vegetarian and his food did not satisfy him simply because his wife did not know how to cook. He died a victim of poor cooking. Councils and that said, take the children to the kitchen at once and teach them how to prepare a wholesome meal. Important to say, know how to cook a good meal. The baby now will be a vegetarian. And the beans no book what a fanes we are no the internet to say by and Kwana no one by Genum, send a young Kwana Kamikora Minibi. It says he died a victim of poor cooking by his wife. Let the Adventist women take their children to the kitchen at once and show them how to prepare a wholesome meal. The role of fructose in cancer. There are glucose receptors on the fat. All he's saying is that we are a cancer. Glucose receptors will say cancer. The more sugar will be, the less now be. First of all, it will cause you to get cancer. Time for questions. But not only that, we are a cancer. Now we know glucose, fructose now, and well. So your dear baby was to get rid of all sugar drinks. Eat your carbohydrates when it's inside the fiber. If you say your meaning is a fructose poison, no, it's a dynamite. So one protecting old fiber, the result will be worse. In America, to nearly 300 milligrams of fiber a day, and they did 2. If it's a fiber, so person preserve the another call akram or cotton fiber or more in a year. Where then now the fiber I shall freeze them. And yet, yeah, papa, they are difficult. In order to export food, they've taken the fiber out to make it the fructose more deadly. Instead of 300 milligrams a day, we're only eating 2. Yeah, and then after that, in the modern set, they increase the fiber intake. Also, continue to do exercise, reduce stress. Now you're diabetic, conante. It will put the sugar into your muscles and improve your condition. Dr. Crow, Cincinnati, 42 years old, for rear surgery, what you watch on your nose, and a cocoa, when your heart attack. One more cocoa, yeah, at the end. Nah, should I say, a woman, but one on the heart, a block the distal left anterior descending artery, when a friend widow mekan, or only the anna happens to her, came out to the terminal, and you cannot do heart transplant on this. So they told him to go home and die at the age of 42. And Dr. Esselson got hold of him and put him on strict vegetarian diet. 2.5 years later, this is the same artery. See how much it has improved. What we're saying is that it doesn't matter what your condition is. A wise man sees danger coming, does something about it. Changing maybe we are sitting move faster. And the rich ram say panini quay or call natural remedy root juices here or no, and then the pressure about from chance and call medications as well. Say to vagina market, not blood pressure number. Run here can say in order to clean your arteries, near my or betting Yeboah. Bene your share in lemon in the morning. Now the garlic turmeric, so benya cayenne pepper, shishino, the diffra, and a black pepper, a ginger. Now one eventually a big clean or arteries, we can in albums a Yeboah in many ways. Turmeric even my name said the breofia was learned to use these ideas. It will help us and avoid these kind of meats. If you say it cancels out every effort to be a way. But when we say one by surgery, I see it will be India, it will be South Africa. That's all they're going to do. They're going to put a stent in that small vein. But stent and prolong will be alive. Among a few months, I'm what be and once in the best block of you. India, chronic and any heart surgery in the war, and now see a befa, Tina or Hannah Chanina, near the Akotua, or heart, and Jabia now broke. Yamedia Koran, and so say, who share heart yet. This is the anterior descendant artery, Noah, Widomecan. How much Corella straw and as a fat, they take it to block this thing completely. Where's a block instant death? Circumflex is kakre in Ketesa. This is the size of the actual heart. Omayin free heart, the Yankopay near me, Senia, evicting. Am I going backwards or forwards? Anyway, if it's a beer, the basic heart. Second World War, Norway, German for no call from 1930s. Norway for a with heart attacks. German for alcohol on say free necro, Nantian and Coconut who be a book Marco the boat you, the my soldier phone, one CC Nina. Heart attack, one Norway drop all the way down. A drop yan, one could beat my bones. One muja and Nami, one mudi to cook in her manner. Second World War Chairman. German folk were assigned one man and one back to where they started. And the enemy and said it can be done. With exercise, where London subway, one might come Boston, and a rubber for the conductors. One more mostly they're from Jamaica. The same background, eat about the same food. One more whom you said the drivers, bus drivers, and train drivers are dying twice as much as the conductors. Why? Because the drivers are sedentary, while the conductors are going up and down. They all have the same background, so exercise is very, very crucial. And for the sake of your mother's immunity, my mom than said, the boy, and mommy end up with this sliding. I'm not sure if I can bring it come up. One more next time, Baba Modern say they show more. And me the best here for the meantime. Will be a question that it may be, sir. And run a question be by, so what about triglycerides? And how can we improve those? And all those heart enzyme testing, changing your diet and sticking to it. And cutting these sugars out of your way will do wonders. Okay, the basic here. For so will be a question.
Doctor. Hello.
Mama.
Doctor.
Pachok, this is a question. IT for Mama Kwama. Depends question.
Pastor, no, Pastor, me to be some question.
Mama B, no try so with this question. Na sentence.
Yeah, me too, baby in Canada, but I don't think so.
What?
Na
Okay.
Okay. Dog the can the rade as my question is said the worker say we should be avoid the sugar. It made I replace honey. Abra bijai a situation no. What is the a difference between honey and sugar? And nay honey a ye no. And I say any day a okay for us. And my second question. Some person be beer juice. How many fruits are meet me are combined? I meet media yeah, and I said it doesn't matter, say a beer 10 and not 6, and I say yeah, mechanic a boom. Me that say.
Hana culture say sugar is different from honey. But anyway, ubetimi adi sugar na honey na in moderation. Just a be away at it. Now what you should food as your medicine. Ellen G. White on the inspiration card say, yeah, salad there. Yes, Sanya near my baby, we was 4 or 6. If you say a beer and chemistry. So we'll share on the microscope. Quania cells now one mitochondria. Factory new Chamukosa is elevator. One me you wait and some kakrebi so much. No one be a kotoha. No one may you wait the way net process no cost. Oko fat food supplements. I have 20 times the overdose. Now say chemistry in the same way. And fun we are naming her debre at any given time. And the white cancer 4 or 6 will be sufficient at any given time. But person come cancer sugar honey dear. But the union is so we are ready minimize. But we be our china as one of these days you see a bit here. And no mean I know say will be bowa. Yeah, a chinwa to her petri. Now because to our cough mission, so what to try Jenny. Now for honey, now they go chancing, now the Jane and come the see her, my dear chin. But when so on honey and I say you'll be cough makes a beer and why effective to China. The beer and a tamwa will show results. Richard Apayan is up.
No, that's it. And then present bisa say often to say be advanced world now. I know the all fruits and vegetables now normally almost the expiry date at home. Best before that. Even all the fruits and vegetables now I mentioned. Now say me work garden kit will be in feature and I'm a farm sir. Now me harvest fruits and I'm a come market say me kotoa. Sometimes we be person turn on the door now just for other reasons. COVID by say because of food ration, we cut shop and now cut up fruits and vegetables. No, but the man say we say contemporary it is best before 3 days, and I say ginger best before 7 days. See my same be no because you outside there you are fortunate you see the expiry date so you live within, but so be a koto market now. Always say expiry date of the fruits and vegetables.
When this expiring date here, very important. So Okoto, so be a sunflower seeds and a semi-manual. A bit me out now for 2 years. But what they grew, the canicum now yamwa. Na inflammable oxidize it. Now what's saying? And it's a war. Niama Miana Niaman Kitten Sana Obidina, yes, over preserve one was stating no one a free seed in the one, Nasa Fabian and the moon. A near expiration date. This all process. It's all on one contemporary idea. You have to eat it at any given time. One more process no heating or factory. I destroy near maybe if you say, wouldn't come to races now 1111. wunya benefit no I insist still a year chain say wo koto na mari kontomire no huru fa so a at certain point I destroy vitamins in it but eja kakra wom ya o etimi last sa ntini yes ya no amane yes I will be keep seeds nuts in their natural state or draw mo kopem say wo hia and sun na why man that's what process it na oxidation and for so on said I think it's I hope it's my answer question. Obesity besides obey then what control cholesterol first of all and function one body no one can produce cholesterol via here. Aduane cholesterol be our fat dietary cholesterol na excess body need here. Plant food does not produce cholesterol. Just animal food. The only way the best way to get rid of it is in fat cholesterol. And one and fear for no ye cook more man or news. One must say more cooking idea, but we leave something in you and also be cool here. Yes, the more that's a moon here. Don't put those things in your mouth. It will kill you. You know, you may feel super. But so much men can. Okay. What the problem means you are not going to be off.
Pacho, yete wonka.
Question for fraud.
Me pacho, I question for auditorium no mun till BBC.
Okay. Now, so how can you deal with the cholesterol? I'm saying don't put it in your mouth and then
Yes.
spend the time to get rid of it.
Me pacho, obi bisa question no auditorium no mun ti or Obeka says is here. Elder, you can go ahead. Doc, Pacho, what's any question no?
Man, TV.
Okay.
Tiena,
There may be some say oils, no. I say you free diet, no palm oil can one.
So we are ready.
Pacho you. Pacho bisu bisa say.
Dr. S.L. I mean, you are oil, Diana Kakra.
Me pacho you.
Dr. S.S. and Ransom Kakra, or Cincinnati Hospital. And was it one my young open heart? No, Mamma went draw one a be one month for 1 minute, mammy. Now, men could try, baby. The man 18 patients or back. After 20 years, me and Casamana mamma and Akasa. Mamma was your mammy. 2 months is a mean coffee and cool. And a Dr. Esselson, the family. Dr. Esselson, watch your book, no watch any or ye. Was it you want free oil beer, including biscuits? It is a biscuit, a butterfly. Was it 8 years before Sana Mekoji won? No one man 49 different heart attacks or heart events. 12 years later, Baku Pekora zero. Because to say you want in every oil, so was a man yahweh. Oil quantum you want free so. I'm a one man, you know. Say ye vegetable oil, say ye animal oil. And so we are now pursuing Yahoo in there. And walk come all kinds of oils come. Oil when she nim, say my be an any day. Nanso to much time they come. Until Leviticus can say, baby, I'm with Yacobiana, don't eat fat. If he said it will make a disease current in your blood. Okay, Mama, question Ben you.
Obviously, please, organic juice. Will you recommend that when we go for them?
Yes, one hour juice, no. Yes. But a better so obedience juice. And it's fiber. To the choir of us who are juice. So obey yama again in the fiber medium. No. Yes. But we'll take it dynamite out of its fiber. And then the fructose very dangerous.
Okay. Thank you. Pacho Obisusi, please, what's the best diet for a patient with kidney issues with regards to the topic?
And me will kidney issue maybe. Yeah, na media. Now what we are more raw. China yanuma. But nam and this idea in the American you cannot afford. And now uric acid is also very high. If it's a kidney intimate insecurity, uric acid into a bit mamma when you go to the American. This is not a time walk fat near neck regard to the neck questions. Side juices may be animal. I'm gonna shoot to uric acid very high. So with the kidney problem, you have to take your kind more serious than anybody else in the church. And let your food be as raw, more than cooked food.
Pacho, the next question here, please, how best can a typhoid carrier find a permanent solution to cure him or herself?
Because
Typhoid.
permanent position, what do you mean? You say permanent position.
No, permanent solution. Solution.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Typhoid carrier find a permanent solution to cure him
Name
or
of
herself.
surgeons compare doctor when you're interested in your case. Now when an internal or bebo, 1 minute drugs are it may remove thyroid, say typhoid. Now war and as a patient change your lifestyle. I want to maintain society. If you are going to treat the typhoid, we need expert intervention. We need a doctor who is interested in your case. We are near a weakening immune system. We be free. And Paniko cancer, meaning COVID. So, and I'm some Samaria, and the Medidinti. The immune system and fibrosia. We call hospital with COVID. Doctor be any draw. A draw be any drugstore between. One mouth na hosenia immune system not very strong to cure you. The same way so typhoid that immune system between to typhoid and as a quicker chain and you will be a bad per doctor or more.
Thank you. Pacho, any other question from the auditorium? Okay. Online, so. There is no question to online. Inti, Doctor Pacho. Okay. Who final words, Bia? Pacho.
Final word, Nyame Adomachna, Ebeshia.
Okay.
Let's discuss why we sleep.
Okay.
Very interesting topic.
Yes.
Uba will become. yɛn nyinaa mmɛhyia so. Ɛda mo ase bebree.
Amen. Dr. Nyamisha Obebre, Yedawaseso for all that you are teaching us. Thank you all for coming and thank you for joining online too. Sena Dr. Kaino, Ochina, we will continue and we will treat the topic how to sleep like a baby. I'm sure you're going to benefit like you've benefited today. Yen semre no, yebefre, ye pastor no abishra and service no so. Before Pastor Bebano, a few announcements. As part of your Health Week program, 6th August, that is this Saturday. This Saturday, you be COVID vaccination after church. After church service, you be COVID vaccination. So there will be COVID-19 vaccination at Sesdak Church premises on 6th August, just this Sabbath. So those of us who haven't taken our first dose, please come. If you haven't taken your second dose too, please come. And those of us who have taken our first and second doses, you need a booster. Please come and take the booster. Okay.
Pachoma yɛnsɔre nkyɛn ne yɛmmɔ mpae. Nana Nyame yɛda wo ase sɛ enumere so no wanam Dr. Yeboah akyerɛ kwan a yɛbɛtumi afa so a ɛbɛboa yɛ apɔmuden. Yɛsrɛ ɛpa w'atwerɛw sɛ nsɛm a yɛsua nnɛ no boa yɛn na yɛntumi ndi so. Yɛsrɛ ɛpa w'atwerɛw sɛ ɛfiri ha akɔ yi hyira yɛn na ɔkyena so ama yɛn ahoɔden abɛto adesua no so. Wei ne yɛsrɛ ɛwɔ dɔba Yesu Kristo din mu. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Nyamisha yenyina. Mespa. See, identity, Yehoah and Shemine on them. Amen.